A lot of noise.
How do you cut through the noise? I mean,
well, I think you've got to look at the price, right? And the interesting thing now is that everyone in OPEC is talking about a target price, and a target price that works for all the producers. And there's this talk of a sweet spot. Where is it? Is it between $60 and $80 a barrel? Obviously, $80 a barrel was too hot for the consumers, and they all started complaining. But does that work for all the OPEC producers? Now, if you look at Russia, their budget is based on $40 a barrel. They're quite comfortable at that level. They prefer it a bit higher, but Russia can tick along. You look at growth in Russia this year, predicted to be 1.7% for the economy. They don't have a problem with inflation anymore. You know, it's pretty buoyant over there.
Their coffers are filling up quite
nicely.
Their
coffers are filling up. They're very resilient to sanctions, etc. But that's not the picture that you're seeing around the rest of OPEC. Venezuela on its knees, Nigeria struggling. Iraq, Libya, all these countries in suffering a lot of pain coming out of, you know, severe political turmoil for various reasons. They all need different prices. You go from Russia and you're getting budgets based on, at the low end, the high $40 range, $40 to $50. You go to the high end, Saudi Arabia. Saudi really needs, according to the IMF, $80, $85 to balance its budget, probably higher. So there's a big range there that OPEC are now targeting.
Its reserves that it had before this price plunge a few years ago.
Absolutely, and the reforms of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, they're all going to cost money. They've burnt a lot of their reserves over the last 2 years, as you pointed out. So that's the tension here. There isn't an ideal price for OPEC.
You hear the Saudis say, we're quite happy with $80 a barrel, but you kind of question that, do you then?
Well, you've just got to look at the numbers and look at the realities of the Saudi economy. I mean, part of Mohammed bin Salman's plan is a huge multi-billion-dollar spending program to build infrastructure, to develop you know, huge industrial and tourism cities on the west coast of Saudi Arabia, around Jeddah and so forth. That's all going to cost a huge amount of money, and then you have all the legacy issues that Saudi needs to address.
Welfare spending and all that.
They're running a structural deficit. They have been draining their reserves, and it's not just Saudi Arabia. You look around the rest of the Gulf, and you know, these are high-spend economies. So they need the high price.
You say let's look at the reality. You have to look at the reality. One reality is that Saudi Arabia and Iran are very far from being friendly to one another. So the idea that Iran is going to go to OPEC and say, "Help me out," do you think that will get a warm reception, that request?
I mean, there's going to be no love at all between any of these sides in OPEC. I mean, I'm predicting one of the most fractious meetings that I've been to for a long time, and I've been going to OPEC now for 20 years. I think that Bijan Zanganeh, the oil minister, has been a good citizen in OPEC over the last 2 years. It's served Iran's interest to go along with what Saudi's been doing. They've increased their production by about 1 million barrels since they came out of the sanctions. That's all going to be wound off. They're going to do nothing to help Saudi Arabia. But then, do the Saudis really need Iran? That's the big question. And where can actually Iran cause trouble? Maybe they can talk to the Iraqis. Of course, Iraq's a big player now, second largest producer in OPEC. It's exporting about 3.8 million barrels a day. You know, Iran has close political ties with Iraq. Could something be done there? Difficult to see. You know, Saudis played quite a good game here. You know, they have a lot of goodwill that they've built up amongst other producers. We have a meeting that may go ahead this weekend in Kuwait City with the core Gulf producers. An interesting outlier here is Qatar, actually. And you have this lingering dispute between the Gulf states. Qatar very much isolated. You know, what will the Qataris do? They've been very quiet thus far. One thing that we do know about OPEC is that they like to present a united front. I think that's going to be very, very difficult coming up into this next meeting.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.